Hi and welcome to my channel. In this video we will be looking at the Alacrity Mechanist. So if you want to find a place in LFG groups fast, then you are in the right place. As a bonus, you'll be able to play Quickness Scrapper too, so that the most important roles are covered when looking for a group. Let's start with the armor. I find it easier to get armor with Berserker stats and farm the accessories from Living World maps. The weapons are one piece Diviner and the other one Berserker. As a secondary weapon we use the hammer. This is for the quickness build that I told you at the beginning of the video. The accessories are all Diviners to get that boon duration up. If you are new to boon support builds, I recommend to go with Runes of the Pack. Okay, now that we're done with the equipment, let's look at the build. So for this one we will use Explosive with 3, 2, 3, Firearms with 3, 3, 2, and Mechanist with 2, 2, 2. The reason we use 2 for the mech arms instead of 3 is to generate decent might and have the mech close to the target. If you want the mech to stay close to you, then you can switch this to Jade Cannons, which is the 3. For the second trait, we use Channeling Conduits because it's the only way that mech can generate Alacrity, and it also gets more boon duration from your stats. And for the last trait, we use the Barrier Engine to generate more might and fury, and some barrier, but barrier doesn't help that much as it was changed to be affected by healing power and we won't have any. If you have enough might and fury in your group and you can keep up Alacrity, you can change this to J Drive for that extra damage and break bar damage. If you are tight on a budget, you can go with the exotic armor from Trading Post, but for accessories I still recommend getting some ascended ones, maybe even celestial stats. But if that's not possible, you can get the selectable stat armor and use Diviners on it and just buy the Berserker accessories. Okay, now let's look at the skills. So the first utility skill, which is the healing one, I always go with Healing Signet. Next one is the Force Signet to increase the DPS, but this one can be changed if you need some other utilities. I use the Grenade Kit since I can do range DPS as well, but if you want more damage, you can go with the Bomb Kit. For the rotation on the Golem, I will use Soul Pastries and Super Holographic Cheeses so that it increases our boon duration, and I won't use any other buffs from the arena. The most important part for us is to finish the auto attack chain on the mace as it generates barrier, and that means it also gives some Alacrity. You can use skill 2 on cooldown as it provides regen and vigor and is very useful for Mirage and Vindicators. It's also good for everyone else as vigor equals more dodges. Use skill 3 every time you see the break bar on a boss or when you see people in map chat shouting for CC.
Refreshing. Refreshing. That feels good.
You can see that we managed to keep up Alacrity, Might and Fury without any other buffs from the arena or from anywhere else. Okay, now that we have covered the basics and we know the build, we also have the equipment, let's take a look at some gameplay and see how this build does.
sure do like to share your opinions, talking big like somebody's listening. Nobody's listening. It's so fun and games until it doesn't. Toss me out, I'll hit the ignition. Now you listen. Hop up in the window. Smaller and smaller you fade out. Hop up in the window. You cannot get my vibe, no there's no way. I'm flying high above all your gravity, trying to bring me down, but I'll never stay. Hey, hey, watch me levitate. You cannot get my vibe, no there's no way. You can say what you want, call me insane, trying to bring me down, but I'll never stay. Hey, hey, watch me levitate. Watch me levitate. Hey, hey, watch me levitate. Try to paint me like a no-name, so sorry, but we're not the same. No, we're not the same. Boo-hoo, poor you, please forgive me, cause I don't feel any pity. I'm fed up with lies, you wanted my demise, now you're watching me rise, rise, rise. Up in the window, smaller and smaller you fade out. Up in the window. You cannot get my vibe, no there's no way. I'm flying high above all your gravity, trying to bring me down, but I'll never stay. Hey, hey, watch me levitate. You cannot get my vibe, no there's no way. You can say what you want, call me insane, trying to bring me down, but I'll never stay. Hey, hey, watch me levitate. Watch me levitate. Hey, hey, watch me levitate. Up in the window. Up in the window. Up in the window. Up in the window.
Watch me levitate, watch me levitate, watch me levitate, watch me levitate, levitate. Watch me levitate, watch me levitate, watch me levitate, watch me levitate.
Watch me levitate. You cannot get my vibe, no there's no way. I'm flying high above all your gravity, trying to bring me down, but I'll never stay. Hey, hey, watch me levitate. You cannot get my vibe, no there's no way. You can say what you want, call me insane, trying to bring me down, but I'll never stay. Hey, hey, watch me levitate. Watch me levitate. Hey, hey, watch me levitate. You sure do like to share your opinions, talking big like somebody's listening. Nobody's listening. It's so fun and games until it doesn't. Toss me out, I'll hit the ignition. Now you listen. Hop up in the window. Smaller and smaller you fade out. Hop up in the window. You cannot get my vibe, no there's no way. I'm flying high above all your gravity, trying to bring me down, but I'll never stay. Hey, hey, watch me levitate. You cannot get my vibe, no there's no way. You can say what you want, call me insane, trying to bring me down, but I'll never stay. Hey, hey, watch me levitate. Watch me levitate. Hey, hey, watch me levitate. Try to paint me like a no-name, so sorry, but we're not the same. No, we're not the same. Boo-hoo, poor you, please forgive me, cause I don't feel any pity. I'm fed up with lies, you wanted my demise, now you're watching me rise, rise, rise. Up in the window, smaller and smaller you fade out. Up in the window. You cannot get my vibe, no there's no way. I'm flying high above all your gravity, trying to bring me down, but I'll never stay. Hey, hey, watch me levitate. You cannot get my vibe, no there's no way. You can say what you want, call me insane, trying to bring me down, but I'll never stay. Hey, hey, watch me levitate. Watch me levitate.
As you can see, this build can hold its own, and does a decent DPS as well. You can switch the runes of the pack for the Scholar runes if you want more damage and you have no problems keeping up Alacrity. So in order to get the exotic armor, we need to go in the trading post, select the rarity, put the level range, and then we will go to select the armor so that we can also add the berserker stats and just get the Nika's armor. Okay, now we'll do the same for the accessories, and we will select the opal earrings or the ruby earrings. Next we will do the amulet, so we can get the berserker amulet. And finally we get the rings. We can select the berserker ring or the opal or ruby rings. As for the stat selectable armor, we need to go to Verdanbrink, talk with the NPC that has the nice icon above his head, and we select the bladed armor boxes. If you want to go with the cheap version, then I suggest to use the diviner stats on the stat selectable armor from the boxes and use berserker accessories from the trading post. Now we will take a look at the Scrapper Quickness build. So explosives and firearms remain exactly the same, and we change Mechanist for Scrapper, and here we use 1, 3, 2. It is very important to have the gyroscopic acceleration so we can share the super speed to others, and also for the Grandmaster trait we need to use kinetic accelerators to grant quickness, and we also get a bonus concentration. And lastly, for the skills we need to use gyros. We need to use the medical gyro, the shredder gyro, and the blast gyro. You can switch the blast gyro to something else if you keep knocking mobs around. Make sure you always have super speed to keep the quickness up, and also use reconstruction field, function gyro, and bypass coating to give extra super speed and don't have any downtime on quickness. If you want to see more content like this, please let me know in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed the video, please click the like and subscribe buttons.